just to get warmed up, partner's gonna be on the knee. I'm gonna be upside down with wrist control here in this sort of reverse spider guard position. I'm gonna take one hook out. As I start to rotate through, I'm gonna shoot my leg through and pull. Good little warm up, take one foot out, spinning, pulling him in, getting to the triangle. I'm not worried about squeezing or finishing mechanics or anything, just getting into the position and moving our hips a little bit from reverse spider. This is actually a real position. It looks like something that would never happen, but in the gi especially, you get reverse spiders, kind of thing people do. So it's good to know. All right, one more thing. Tight, right? So from here, close guard. I'm going to start with like the most basic entry, just to make sure everybody has it, which is I'm going to collar tie him to control the posture. I'm going to stuff the hand to the chest. I'm going to shoot my hips up straight to the top line. Other side, I'm going to collar tie him. I'm going to stuff his hand to his wrist and shoot my hips up. Collar tie, control the posture, stuff the hands, shoot the hips. Make sense? 1, 2. Do 5 to each side and then switch. Jacks, you should probably too. Not to single you guys out, but if you're not doing the movement right, it's probably because you're behind me and you can't see what's going on. So the deal here is I'm not like throwing his hand and then letting go and then hoping that that's going to happen. I'm going to stuff his hand, keep it stuffed, and now I can pull it free, right? So like Andrew, I know you're kind of throwing the hand in there too. You know what I mean? Like that big space. It's going to be super hard to do that against a resisting opponent. But I have to make sure that I have like posture control and that I'm still controlling the head throughout the entire process from here. If I do it kind of sloppy, bring your hand back in, and I stuff, and as I go to shoot, he brings his hand back inside. Yeah, here, this is going to be like the first problem that we're going to have to deal with. It's uncomfortable, but he can just push his hand back in from here, right? And start to defend the triangle. Everybody, let's pay 10 for Clyde. Welcome back. Actually, no, just Clyde. We'll start there. You okay? I know I didn't want to do a line on like judo, wrestling. I do not want to do any push-ups today. I'm just chilling today. All right, so collar tie, stuff the head or stuff the arm. When I shoot the hips, our partner's going to bring their hand to the inside here like he's going to defend. So from here, I can try to finish the triangle, keep your arm in, stay safe, right? But it's really difficult for me. And can you push your arm back in?
I mean, a little bit.
Maybe, try. It's awkward because you're on my balls, right?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I didn't have to learn it.
But this definitely happens, okay? It definitely happens. So if we get here and they're defending, I'm going to switch to the opposite side, right? Keep your hand in. Can you bring your hand back now?
No.
Less likely, right? Even with the balls. So now this case, if you have a good squeeze, you're going to be able to lift your hips and get the squeeze here, but it's really difficult. Most of you won't be able to do this. So I have an obligation now to attack this arm with Kimura. You okay?
Tap, yeah.
Yeah, he's not okay. So they call that Trimura. It's a dilemma between the triangle on the wrong side and Kimura on this side here. Very, very powerful Kimura lock, because even if you have good shoulders, is that your bad shoulder?
Yeah.
Bring your hand back in. Bringing the hand in is like a really common defense that you guys are going to run into, right? Controlling, switching, lock on the wrong side, go here, and attack the Kimura on this side. It's still like he doesn't have any additional range of motion. I'm biting the triangle down here, and then the Kimura is just lowering this elbow very, very gently. So anytime, we're going to do a few dilemmas today that come from the triangle being locked and him defending the triangle and leading in. But this one's really common when you go to stuff it against somebody, and as you shoot, yeah, you get here. Cool. Lock to the bolt lock. Here, grab your Kimura. Make sense? All right, let's do it. 1, 2. I know you want to switch. It's a good defense. It's not a great defense, right? Like you can still get triangle, you can get dead orchard here. There's a lot of bad things that can still happen to you here, but a lot of guys are gonna keep this hand stuck inside just because it keeps the space away. It can almost like allows me posture. But as Delirious tries to finish this triangle from here, it's an easy thing for me to just keep my shoulder off my neck. Finish, go ahead. Really try.
It's really hard. I can't even get the angle.
It's really hard, right?
Because of this arm.
Yeah, this arm. So this is why, like, we're looking for early stage escape for this particular position. From here, once he switches to the bolt lock, right, I'm still gonna try to like flare this across to open it up, because if I just let it go and he bolt locks me, I'm gonna have to tap every time. So I still want to lock your bolt lock up. All right, so I'm gonna watch. It's on my neck. Squeeze, squeeze. It's safety. This is why we're doing this particular Kimura off here, because the more I expose this, he can go with the current and start pushing my wrist across, and now locking up that Kimura attack here, right? From here, the next thing that would normally happen is I'd step over and block his Kimura. Attack your bolt lock. Can you squeeze the choke? No chance, right? Like zero. I'm getting zero pressure. Squeeze. Really try. I'm curious. No way. All right. Can you dig out the Kimura?
Pull it up. Try this.
He's so close.
If we get the fingers, yeah, maybe. What do you have? Another hand? Just no.
So I'm starting to escape. Everything falls apart, right? Do you know how to deal with this? Try. See how much Delia remembers.
For me, it will be posture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's so close.
I know it.
Who else was here for Triangle Month? Like 2 years ago now? That remembers this? Anybody?
I know you push down this way.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to do this?
Maybe.
That was wrong though.
Okay, so here, boom. Lock up my bolt lock. If I can get it here, the triangle, even with his little fingers in there, I don't care. He's gonna die every time, right? If he, exposes the shoulder, I cut a cross bolt lock here, he's still gonna die every time. Are you gonna die?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna die. So he's gonna flare this actively. Yes, very good. Right here, this frame alone, on my leg, escape.
Block it.
Right, this frame is going to shut down that extra escape from him. So I let the blood come back to your brain. Yeah. So just placing, this is like straight out of Lachlan Giles, like K-guard stuff, where he's talking about reframing on your leg here to stop him, stopping him from exposing the guard and opening the guard. But I figured you could use it from here as well in the triangle defense of the bolt lock. This is really the only way is for him to open up and start exposing that. Of course, the more he does that, the more we go back to impalers, right, and all that other option. So there's always going to be something. But for me, locking on this frame here is going to prevent this first action. But let's say he beats us to it, he starts exposing, and maybe he even reaches behind, to hide it. Boom, open your shoulder up now. Yes, now his shoulder's safe, but I still want to just stick my fist in there. So instead, when I want to break him down now, when I want to expose the Kimura, I dive underneath, keep your grip, don't let me have it. Right? He has to let me, Chris. Right, so as he hides the arm, the difference here is now I'm trying to drive my triangle knot back down to the floor on the opposite side. So I dive underneath, Deliar had the right idea, with the underhook, connect my hands, pull his elbow to my chest, and then I use my legs to expose him straight down. I don't need to switch any grips. I can lift my elbow gently to get that Kimura finish. You okay?
Yeah.
He loves this. This could be you, Eric. Boom. Shoot. He keeps his hand inside to keep himself safe. Right? I gotta switch off to a bolt lock. Cool. He's gonna hide his Kimura hand because he knows that's coming next. Here you might look, if you have a good squeeze, you might be able to get this. If you got thunder thighs like me. Dive underneath, elbow to elbow, connect his shoulder to your stomach, drive your triangle straight down, and catch the Kimura here. Make sense? His hand's still trapped the entire time, right? Make him pay for making that decision. Good? I shoot, he's doing a good job protecting. I lock up my bolt lock here. He makes the space necessary. He hides it. I'm gonna dive underneath. Here, I'm gonna use this knee as the lock is pushing this way, but if I'm really soft about it, just go with it better. This is not what we want. I don't want his head down on the mat, because nobody's gonna flop over like that for you. They're gonna be like, I don't wanna end up in the bottom of mount, or some weird crap like that. You okay? Yeah. I'm not squeezing anything. So I'm gonna take this knee, and as I'm kind of pushing the whole lock that way, I'm actually countering it with this knee this way, which is gonna make it seem a lot tighter for him. With the pummel under, I'm gonna glue his arm to my ribs here, like so. So now when I start to turn the corner here, right, it creates a tremendous amount of force, and it all goes into him, instead of me moving the force around, right? The fearful part here is there's so much force that if his hand lets go, he's gonna get a broken arm. Like this, there's so much energy, and it's all getting built up into his shoulder as I squeeze and pull. Right here, I have to be careful and mindful of his tap. He's probably getting choked a little bit too, right? Maybe?
Maybe a little.
But it's the least of your worries. Yeah. So again, gripping and pulling this into your body, and I mean like pull it into your body strong. As I turn everything that way, this knee is gonna curl in, and that's what's gonna keep all the pressure into his body. Boom, boom, here. Does that make sense? When we're attacking from here, if the hands are in the center, stuffing and shooting is a good option, right? But if something weird happens, like this sort of a deal, I'm not gonna try to like stuff and then shoot from out there. It's too weird. So from here, if I can get his hands, or even if they're like here, maybe he's going like the armpit pass, which no gi people do all the time, put the hands in the armpits. I can just overhook here, create a frame, and do a little hip escape, right? When I hip escape though, I'm gonna like, almost like a whizzer, I'm gonna drive down, I'm gonna put the leg down, so I'm forcing him down here. Most of the time he's gonna put the hand on the mat, just try to square back up to me. I'm gonna grab palm up here, super important, right here, palm up grip. The reason for that is if Dilliar wants to break this grip, break the grip, he's gotta see what he did? Nobody's good that way. That whole Americana, he has to Americana himself in order to break my grip, because my opening is here, right? If I grip him like this, easy. Every time he's gonna be able to re-pummel. So we grip palm up instead. Now I let him play, grip fight, grip fight. So now he's gonna maybe puts his hand back to the mat as he tries to build up his base, and I can bring my foot through here, or I can hip escape away and bring it here, keeping my whizzer as strong as I can. Shooting through from here, I get right back to the top block with the arm completely isolated again. Now I have this arm, we could do some things here, but for now, I'm just gonna switch, hold the arm, foot goes to the hip, and I keep everything pinched together as I turn this angle right here. It's gonna be an easy thing for me to lock, toes pointing to the toes pointing to the ceiling, lifting my hips up and pinching my knees together. You good?
Yeah.
He wasn't even squeezing.
Oh, that was close.
Okay. So hands are on the mat, overhook. Hip escape, grip, palm up. And I want you guys to feel this, like really try to play with it a bit. Foot can go to the hip, pushing him away. Foot inside the bicep, shooting, locking up here. Make sense? Need to see it again? Easy, 1, 2. Right, then I want my foot that's over the head to be like over the head to the north side. I don't ever want to be like this because Eric, I mean, he can just stack into me here super easy. He'll tell you all the pressure comes off. When I'm here, stacking to me, like there's nothing he can do to prevent the stack. So I've said many times, never cross your feet from the bottom on an arm block, right? I should know better than to say never, because there's always a time and a place for it. Or there might be, not always. Catching here, shooting my foot through. I have this nice like shotgun grip on the far side arm. If for whatever reason I feel like I can't hit the triangle, maybe I just suck at triangles, maybe my knee falls apart, I can bring this top leg over and cross my feet here. You okay? I'm not even doing anything. Right? With the feet crossed here, can you stack me?
It's the Armbar worse.
Uh-huh. This is the exception. I have nothing under his armpit here. Okay, my hand is here, kind of blocking the hip. Can you walk your feet around to finish, like to escape this armbar? You don't want to move at all, do you? Not even a little. It's the armpit here, pinching in. Can you turn your arm to safety? Can you do anything? Can you phone a friend? So, just by pinching here, and look, it's this thigh is what's making his life miserable. But the finishing move is here, and then driving the head straight down. So I'm not even doing anything here, guys. It's all the crossed feet spiking down into him. Does that make sense? You guys need to see it again, or you good? One more? Your eyes are red, man.
I was gonna say, is Armbar supposed to make you go purple?
I've never seen an armbar make his eyes go red into tears.
Because you get like choked on the one side, like slowly.
Oh, really? Cool. All right. So I get my whizzer, palm up grip, hip escape, use my knee to pinch. He posts up a little bit for me. Oh, I'm so not flexible. Aaron and I have the same problem. Hooking that foot through there, we'll get better. Here I have pressure. I don't need to rush the triangle. I can wait for him to posture up here. Then I can shoot through and I catch you with this pinch down super nice and tight, elbow to my hip. You good?
Yeah, I don't even, I had to twist my elbow there, it's too tight.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll be nice. Hand to the hip. Come bring it right over to the crossed. I'm only stopping here so that he doesn't decide to walk his feet around, although I think Eric told me he didn't want to do that. Just holding nice armpit grip here. Really nice and easy. Are you okay, buddy? Yeah. Yes. Pinching. I mean, you can just lock the triangle here too. This is fine. And now I can hips up and get the armbar and the triangle. Or it's so dramatic. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Caught my elbow.
I'm so sorry. You good? Yeah. All right. I guess be careful with each other. This one's kind of gnarly. What you like down here where we're playing like a half guard kind of situation. If she has this underhook, I do not want to swing to deep half. She's going to earn that underhook later. So I'll dive under here, swinging, and usually we're looking for like wader sweeps or kind of options from here. Or I'm looking to pop out the back door. Here, wrestle up, boom. Or come up the front side, right? However it shakes out. But the general mechanic is I'm going to dive under and use this leg as like a pillow here. Keeping my elbow in is going to be the key, as you'll see soon. And then from here, I'm either looking to bump her forward, or I'm looking to bump her back this way. Or I can do the wader sweep, where I hook underneath before we do all that. Make sense? That's deep half, not super common at low level, but beyond purple, purple and above, especially for older guys, super, super common. Gi and no gi, both deep half, anywhere. So practice is getting in the position, so it's not weird. It will be. I once described this as the gayest position in jiu-jitsu, right? Because it's like just put the head on the head on the thigh like a pillow. Here, and stay like super close, keeping everything like tight. I don't want to be like trying to fish here. A good idea would be to thread this arm behind the leg. If you can get it here soon, it will be safe for later, but for now, just worry about getting to this very strange position for a combat sport. Right? You can practice hooking the bottom foot. If you like played deep half before, this is an important thing, being able to elevate them here. You can go this foot under, if you like that. You can play around with different options. Hooking to the wader is a good option. This is gonna be terrible for you if you see what's does anybody see what's about to happen to me here?
Triangle.
Uh-huh, you all see it because I am back. Terrible, but I use waiter sweeps all the time. She comes back, immediately triangles me, I'm like, damn it. So just practice getting here, keep your elbows in, and you can try the sweeps if you want. Right, very easy, or pop up. Make sense?
So when they have you in deep half, I always try to like have an arm down on the mat underneath their elbow, because that's gonna stop him from being able to waiter sweep me. He can't get his arm around under my leg. And anytime he's bringing his arm away from his body, I can collect it and start bringing my leg around. So if he leaves his knee here, I can go for a triangle. I don't need to though. Typically they'll try to sweep you back one way, and so you just kind of sit back with it, keep the arm collected, and then you can lock up a reverse or triangle.
That sucks.
So you get here, I'm putting weight mostly on this knee, letting this leg be light. It doesn't really matter, because I'm keeping my weight over his head, and that's gonna help stop me from being swept. Keep my arm pinned underneath his arm so he can't go for the waiter sweep. And then as he tries to extend this leg out, it's gonna get us to roll backwards. And so I just sit with it, come over, and then you can lock up the reverse triangle.
Ooh.
If your weight is going that direction, doesn't that just invite him to go underneath?
You'd like to think it would. You'll feel it. I've been playing this against her for quite a while. It's really difficult.
But you're keeping weight on top of him still. You're just putting kind of all your weight on top of his head, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, it's like
lean.
leaning
Yeah,
over his shoulders.
makes sense.
It's trash. There's a little detail too that it's helping her is this knee. As she starts to like hook up, yeah, see how she's bringing the knee forward? That's huge. Like now the base is like, I can bump her forward, but her hand is there. I can't really take her back, but I feel like I can. And that's where I go to die. Because I can't go that way, so I think I can go out the, tip her back over like the basic sweep. But that knee sliding, and you can incrementally do it too, like, see here, ooh, actually, we're not waiter sweeping, just here, she can like inch this slant forward once, and then she can even do it again. Yes, and now it's like super, super deep into the rear triangle. Now as I can't even hit the sweep at 0 pounds. It's terrible. Ooh.
Where did you say that hand was again?
So as soon as we're going here, I'm digging to get my hand between his arm and his chest. If it's out, then he can stop the triangle, because if he sweeps me now, there's no arm in the way. So I'm really fighting to get this one. It gives me some base too, because I can put a lot of weight on here, and then if he tries to bump me here or backwards, I have weight down. And then that's also gonna let me pull it up and start putting pressure, so it's gonna make him want to try. But it's basically just between his elbow and his right head and pulling up.
Alright, let's go. 1, 2. Thank you, man. That's the way Gordon was teaching it. It's kind of different. But he uses the Kimura to control the rotation. Eric keeps wanting to swing his arm back inside.
Because doesn't that stop the triangle?
I don't know. I've never, I mean, nobody in our club plays D-Path. So I want this here. This is good. How do you feel? Shitty. Shitty.
That's your position, Eric. You're deep out.
You're doing great. I feel like I could break this guy's arm right here, like super easy. All right, so then I keep attacking, inching, getting here. He brings that arm in. Oh, I want to switch back to Kimura before you're already out. We can't let Eric escape my D-Path that easy. Is this all that I needed to break Eric's hold? For years I've been getting
Go
abused.
into a back take then.
I feel like there's a back take
Like
there.
go for the gift wrap.
But his deep half is so awkward.
I've never done this.
He's like never done deep half.
Do you want to be facing? Like,
No.
Does he wants to be facing away from
Yeah,
the deep half,
like
right?
he wants to be flat or like,
Eric, switch your hips.
yeah,
Yeah.
the opposite side. This would be more like human boy deep half.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But Eric's like, he likes to face me and cuddle me.
What are you looking at, Eric?
Which honestly, I mean, look, it made him safer. I just feel like, go back to that again. Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna do different things to this guy. I think bad things would happen if he turned and faced me. Plays deep half.
Nope.
Not one of you, right? Just me.
I definitely end up there sometimes, but
Right.
it's never intentional. I'm not trying to put myself
Right.
there.
I play it just because I know that there's so many people that play it, and we have to learn. I mean, you have to know things, right? And you've never been in deep half. Like Tyson plays deep half. He put me in deep half, and I thought I knew how to get out, and he just swept me at will. I'm like, oh, I gotta learn this. Like, it's just a huge hole in my game, not knowing things. Like, you can't just stay ignorant to jiu-jitsu, because you will lose. You will fight people that know things that you don't know, and then you're a white belt again. And so, see you guys again, getting close to that purple belt. You should be exploring positions you might not normally play. It's important. So Eric's gonna hit deep half. Boom. Big thing from Gordon was here. He doesn't want the knee being trapped in the legs. Eric doesn't want that either. He can't sweep me with this sort of guard situation. It's too hard. He needs extension and he needs that leg weightless. Would be like correct deep half sweeping mechanics. I want underhook here and then elbow in close to my body here. Now my knee is super far behind. So I want to start balling him up here and making him awkward.
And as soon as you take the underhook, he has zero options.
That's been my experience.
Right.
Like when Iana gets this arm, it's why at the very beginning, the first thing I said, pummel this arm underneath the leg and keep your elbow glued. You're not going to get that out. And now he's got a natural sweep. I'm sure even Eric can feel the sweep from here. Oh, he gave it back. Maybe not. Put it under the leg, yeah. Where would you sweep me here?
I don't feel anything.
You couldn't just elevate my legs towards, yeah, and pop out the back door.
Oh, okay.
There's really only 3 sweeps from deep half, like come out the back, come out the front, or waiter sweep. So once you kind of know those 3 things, Eric's like, it's too much pressure, man.
Could you electric chair, or could Eric electric chair you from the deep half?
No. Maybe. I shouldn't say no. He might be able to, but not Eric.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, let's get back on track here. So he hits his little deep half there. I get my underhook as I start sliding my knee up. Coming here, keeping it pinched. I can switch to Kimura right here. Now I don't care. I can easily start looking toward the back, locking my rear triangle. Why are you tapping? Attack the arm. Attack Kimura from here. Wrist locks. I can just go straight arm. Right?
It's just tweaking my throat here.
Okay. So lock the Kimura. As soon as you kind of like, if you don't feel like you can get your leg free, this is the solution. is to lock up the Kimura. Like they're bitten down. Kimura. Eric's never been so happy to get out of here. So like my deep half, I want to be like up high on the hips here. I don't want to be, this is not really deep half. This is like super weak for me. Ooh. If she starts tipping to her back, but she feels like she can't get this leg free, she can always just lock the Kimura. Yeah. Tap. Right, and use that. Oh. Or she can lock. Alright, side triangle. Oh, it's like a rear bolt lock.